एंड वेलकम टू श्रीराम IAS। आप सबका स्वागत है इकोनॉमी के इस सीरीज में, जिसमें हम लोग डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमी के बेसिक्स से लेके एडवांस तक सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स का। दिस सीरीज इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट अ कॉमन सीरीज विच रन्स ऑन अदर प्लेटफॉर्म्स और whole YouTube. Rather, this series is basically to make sure that all the aspirants here who come for economy with lot of doubts, who think that economy is too much difficult in nature, we here have an objective to simplify it and crack it down, break it into pieces so that we understand every bit and nuance of economy. In this video, we will be simplifying two things, that is the two pillars of economy. But before we start that, before we understand what production and consumption is, I want you to recall about the last video we had. In the last video, we talked about three basic problems of economy. What are these three basic problems? It was scarcity, it was choice, and it was sustainability. Why we need to understand that there are natural resources, man-made resources, financial resources, but all of these resources suffer scarcity. And in this scarcity of resources, we have to produce. We have to produce like services and goods. But once we start production, we know this thing also, that all the production, all the resources, these are also scarce in nature. Therefore, in order to make the best choice out of all of this, we need to choose between the alternatives. All the decisions, whether to consume one good or other, whether to have tea or coffee, whether I should go for cold drink or I should go for mojito, whether should I go for a cold coffee or a hot coffee, all of this depends. All the consumption which I have, all the choices I make, whether I should go for UPSC or engineering, should I go for UPSC and prepare, sit at my home, or should I go and have a job and start earning by 15-20,000 rupees a month. These all are choices. Every choice comes with an opportunity cost, and that is what we read in the last video. At the end of that video, we discussed about sustainability also. That out of all of this scarcity and choice, we have to make the decisions wisely also. What is the wisdom in making these decisions is that we have inherited or we have borrowed this earth. We have not inherited the earth, but we have borrowed the earth. Borrowed it from whom? The future generations. And once we understand that, we need to ensure that all of these resources which are there on this earth have to be preserved, saved, and utilized wisely. Because these resources belong to the future generations. We cannot just spend all of the oil which is found beneath the land. We cannot just go and cut down all the trees and make all the furniture, whatever there could be produced in this world. Rather, we need to ensure that if we are letting the forests live, if we are letting the forests, the trees stand over there, this thing also comes with a cost of the opportunity. And these opportunities which we have to make a decision upon, once we choose one opportunity and let the other one go, this comes with a cost, and that is opportunity cost. This is all what we discussed in the last video. Now, in this video, as the thumbnail says, that these are the two fundamental pillars of economy. What are these two fundamental pillars in which? And on these two fundamental pillars, the economy stands as a subject. Let's discuss this in detail. But before that, let's have a look at the current offer which we are offering at SRIRAM's IAS. That is, there is a huge 25% discount on 1-year foundation and 2-year foundation and all the prelims and mains courses. All the courses are on a huge discount right now. You can come, visit, call, or go to our website, get connected, have a counseling session, and then decide which course to opt for. Whichever course you are looking for, whether that is prelims test series, whether that is mains test series, whether that is foundation course or mentorship course, all the courses have different offers. You can just get connected to the counselors and get yourself enrolled. Do it as fast as you can. So let's begin the video and let's begin the discussion. बहुत ही सिंपल डिस्कशन रहने वाला है आज का हमारा, एंड दिस इज अबाउट द टू फंडामेंटल पिलर्स ऑफ इकोनॉमी. What are these two fundamental pillars? One is production and another is consumption. ठीक है, very basic that we need to produce goods. Why are we producing goods? बहुत सिंपल सी बात है, in order to fulfill our needs and wants. And once this production is being started, once the production starts, why is a producer actually producing something? Why? Because they all want what? Profit maximization. ठीक है, three things as I said. One is we are all producing one or another good or service. ये हमने कल भी डिस्कशन किया था. We all are producing goods or services, whether that is this service which I am providing here, that is the service of teaching, the service of education. This service also is something which I am providing. Then there comes a person who produces or who manufactures these mouse, who manufactures this mouse, the AC, the screen on which you are reading, the mobile phones, or I can say the service which your internet provider is giving you, by which you are able to access this lecture. All of these goods and services, they are being produced for what? For three things. One is to satisfy needs and wants. This lecture is actually a need of yours. You need this lecture. You are reading it. Why? Because it's a need. But want, what is want? Watching Netflix. That is a desire. On the same screen, you have two different things. One is YouTube, another is Netflix. Netflix is about wants, desires. YouTube is about need, but only when once you use it properly. So in order to satisfy the wants and needs, both the owners of Netflix and YouTube, they are providing these platforms on which you are watching these screens. They are providing these to fulfill your needs and wants and to fulfill their need and want. And what is their need and want? That is one. What is that? Profit maximization. They want to produce more. They want to make sure that there are more videos on WhatsApp, on this YouTube. They want to make sure that there are more series, more movies on Netflix, so that people watch it more, so that they earn more. Or I can say, this owner of the company of phones, say iPhones, Android phones, or anyone, once they start producing these phones, what do they actually want? They want all of us to use these phones. बहुत simple सी बात है. Why? Because we all need these phones for communication, to talk to our parents, to talk to our friends, to have connections around the world, to get our work done. That is how the world is working. Simple. So production is on the three things. But yes, there is one more thing, that is consumption. Why does consumption happen? Why do you consume this material? Why are you consuming this video? Why do you wake up in the morning and start eating bread or having chai, or you go for I can say cornflakes, muesli, you eat some poha, you eat anything. You start consuming the products. But remember one thing, before you wake up or before you open your eyes, you start scrolling with those, I can say, half closed eyes, you start scrolling your phone or whatever things you do. You go for a, go to your washroom and do brush or have a, I can say, a bath, use some soaps, all of these products, whatever you do, whether you go to a class, whether you go to a library, all of these goods and services, why are we consuming them? Only to satisfy our needs or to satisfy our wants. Therefore, there is only a simple thing which we all need to remember, that economy lies on two things. One is production, another is consumption. Beyond this production and consumption, there is one more important concept which we will be reading in this video. That is, in this production, we will read about one thing, that is production possibility frontier, PPF, or production possibility curve. Beyond this consumption, we will read one more thing, that is demand curve. How production possibility frontier or production possibility curve and how this demand curve is working. This is what we are going to discuss in this video. Now, remember that once we talk about production, all the people who we call producers, these producers will produce goods for what? For profit maximization, maximum profit. So, what will they do? What will a producer do to produce maximum number of goods? They will utilize all their resources to produce goods. For example, a person living in a jungle, he somehow learns the skill of making chairs, wooden chairs. He somehow learns the skills of carpenter. Now what will he do? He will make a chair, go to market and sell it. He will come back, make another chair, go to market and sell it. By passing days, what will he be doing? He will be cutting down all the trees, making all the chairs and selling all the chairs in the market. That is how he goes. That is how he makes profit and that is how he makes his livelihood. So what is his objective in his life? क्या करना चाहता है वो एक्चुअल में अपना प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइज कर रहा है डे बाय डे. On the first day, if he made 10 chairs, on the 100th day, he might be making 100 chairs by employing more number of trees, using more number of trees, using more number of laborers, using more number of tools. Simple. He will utilize all the resources efficiently, fully, and then ensure that there is maximum production. Is it possible? Suppose, what is this production possibility curve telling us? Now remember, this production, where does it lie? What is the epitome or what is the, I can say, the horizon of this production? Where does this production go to? That is the potential of this person. A person X who lives in a forest has a potential by utilizing all the resources, whether that was forest, whether that was trees, labor, tools, or his car through which he is traveling and I can say taking these wooden chairs from his place to marketplace, from his workshop to market. Whatever means he is utilizing, whatever resources he is using, he takes the final product to the market. Suppose this X on a certain sunny fine day, he starts this work और वो क्या करता है? On an average, by implanting all the resources, he can produce 1000 chairs. Plus, he can also produce 100 beds out of all the wood he has. Chair and bed or chair and table on which you all sit and study. Suppose he is selling this, he is making this by utilizing all the jungle he had over there, all the carpenters he had, all the laborers he could find, all the tools, nails, all the I can say furniture tools, whatever there are, the axe, the whatever it is, the tools, the spade and everything, he finds it and starts manufacturing. Or by the end of this, he can produce only two things. One is chairs and beds. As I said, that once he starts production and he thinks that I can produce only two products, that is one chair and one bed. But the production possibility curve says that if he starts at position A, he can make or use all the wood and make 100 chairs or 500 beds, or I can say 50 beds. Just to simplify it, 100 chairs and 50 beds. Then again, at position B, he can produce 50 chairs or 100 beds. Or what else he can do is, at position C, he can do one thing, 75 chairs and 75 beds. But the point is that he has the possibilities of producing, the possibilities of production are limited. He can do this much and this is his potential. And that is what production possibility curve says. That how many possibilities are there. As I said, we all make decisions. These all decisions come with three things: scarcity, choice and sustainability. Similarly, these all conditions come with that only. That is, whatever position he makes, whatever decision he makes, whatever the condition or whatever the position he takes, by whatsoever means he starts producing, whatever the combination he takes, he has the maximum potential. The maximum potential is this. He can do this or this or this and this combined. That is the production possibility curve. Now understand how is this curve made. The production possibility frontier says that if a person A or X starts making computers and mobile phones, you all might have laptop also and a mobile phone also. Simple. Once you all use computers and mobile phones, you have one laptop and one mobile phone, you start using it. Now, what X can do is, by utilizing all his resources, either he can do on a graph, what he can do is, either he can produce 60 computers and 10 mobile phones, or he can do one more thing, he can produce 50 computers and 20 mobile phones, or what else he can do is, he can produce 40 and 30, or he can do one more thing, he can produce 30 and 40, or what he can do is 20 and 50. These are the possibilities which a person X can have while he starts production. This curve over here is production possibility curve. All the points on this curve are actually talking about the potential. This point is actual potential, and that is which we use in the macroeconomics. अगर हम macroeconomics की बात करें तो this is the potential GDP of an economy. By implanting all the factors of production, the maximum possible production or the maximum possible product which we can generate is actually the potential GDP. Rather, we also need to learn that our economy is not at this point. Our economy is somewhere here. That is, we are yet to utilize all the factors of production which we have. Once we utilize all the factors of production which we have, then only we will be able to understand what? That this is our current GDP. This is the GDP which we actually need to pursue for. This is the potential GDP. With maximum utilization, I can say 100% utilization of all the resources, I can reach on this point. That I can produce these many amount of products. But current position is this. Therefore, X, Y and a point over here. Suppose this is a point which still is unattainable. If this point is unattainable, but with what? With current set of resources. ठीक है, समझ में आया? That is what? Production possibility frontier or production possibility curve. Simple. So you all might have learned the concept very well. This concept is linked and interlinked. All the things which we read earlier, whether that was scarcity, choice and opportunity cost, is linked to this. And this concept is linked further to GDP and potential GDP. That is why UPSC asked a question which was similar to this, that was potential GDP. The question was asked that how should India pursue and how India can achieve its potential GDP. Sure? And now with this, I leave the discussion. For the next video, we will be discussing one more important concept, that is the concept of utility. And also with that concept and this concept, we will proceed further into macro and microeconomics. We will take all the concepts and then only we will be proceeding in these videos. We still have to understand consumption. That is another pillar of economy. I talked about the demand and consumption, but yes, there are laws of demand and determinants of demand. How demand actually works in the market. Further, once we understand production and demand, we need to understand a step further after that. That is the supply and demand in the market. Once we understand the demand and supply in the market, we also need to understand the market equilibrium. So, be in the series and follow this series, because this series is in a flow which you might not find in the conventional books of economy or in the conventional series whichever goes in the market. So with this, I take a leave. Thank you. Jai Hind.